Hello, everyone. I am beyond honored and excited to be supporting Mark Eves for governor. And thank you. Mark, many thanks for everything you do in the community. You are inspired, and by that are totally inspiring, so I want to thank you. My name is Andrew Kazulis, and I'm a person in long-term recovery, and what that means for me, first and foremost, is that Mom has her son back. And I'm very, very proud to say that today. Thank you. Our family continues to heal, and where you find recovering people, you have recovering communities. Unfortunately, too many parents in our state will never again hold their children. 418 Mainers lost last year to overdose. Some personal friends of mine, many with stories just like mine. In 2007, I took a slip and fall on some good old New England ice, herniated 2 discs, and was quickly prescribed high doses of opiates without much education around the risks associated. Once a collegiate athlete, I became a prisoner in my own mind, in my own home, unable to leave either without the assistance of opiates. It was certainly horrible, indeed, yet my story is one of privilege, and I am very, very lucky to have made it out alive. But privilege and luck should not determine who gets to live. Thank you, thank you. Additionally, we cannot cage substance use disorders, and as long as our state continues to treat addiction as a crime to be punished, we will continue to lose our loved ones. Thank you. Walls cannot keep drugs out of our thoughts and out of our feelings, or even out of our most secure prisons, and walls will not keep drugs out of our communities or our schools. We have to do something different. We must build bridges, and that is why I am so excited to support Mark, because he views substance use as the public health epidemic that it is, and is dedicated to creating solutions that build those bridges. I am with Mark, and I hope you are too. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Democrats. My name is Linda Dean. I live in Livermore, and I'm a proud member of the United Steelworkers Local 900 in Rumford, Maine, where I work at the Catalyst paper mill. Maine people have lost tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs in the last few years, and my sister Lisa was one of them. She lost her job at a local mill and now can only find part-time hours at a retail chain, working hard but earning low wages. She doesn't make enough money to qualify for the ACA, and as we all know, Mainers in this situation have no access to Medicare. Lisa went blind for a period of time because without insurance, she lacked preventative treatment for diabetes. There are thousands of Mainers like my sister who worked in mills, were laid off, and now work low-wage jobs with no benefits, leaving their families with no access to health insurance. The toll this has taken on hundreds of families is enormous. Workers who were laid off, no fault of their own, have gotten very ill and even died because they lost insurance when the mills closed. My grandson, who has lived with me since he was 4 years old, just turned 26 and no longer qualifies to be on my insurance. He quit a job he loved to work in a highly dangerous plant for minimum wage just so he can have access to benefits, which will cost every cent of any raise he ever receives. And a side note on that, I heard today that one of his pals got hit in the head by a chunk of wood this morning and probably has a concussion, so every day I worry about him working. He also has $30,000 in debt from going to the community college. Maine people need access to Medicare. No one should go without needed medications, wait to see a doctor until it's too late, or work a job just to have a shot at some sort of health insurance. We need a governor who will champion health care for all Mainers, and that is what Mark Eves will do. Thank you.
my name is Stacy Jenkins. My family and I moved to Brunswick 6 years ago from Florida. I graduated from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, a name few people knew before a few months ago when a young man walked in with a legally purchased assault rifle and killed 14 students and 3 staff. My friend and fellow alum, Elisa, is a physical education teacher at Stoneman Douglas. She had just returned from maternity leave earlier that month. Fred Gutenberg, one of the fathers of the slain students, said that he didn't know if he had said goodbye to his daughter, Jamie, before he sent her to school that day. His statement haunts me. I know that it is by sheer luck alone that Brunswick or Lisbon or Sanford hasn't become the next Parkland or Newtown or now Santa Fe, Texas. So I make absolutely sure to tell my 2 elementary school-aged daughters that I love them before I send them to school every day. And when the sirens go off at the fire station across from my office, I have to hope that they are not heading to Harriet Beecher Stowe Elementary School. Hope is no longer enough. We need a governor who will ban the assault weapons used in every mass shooting. That governor is Mark Eves.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Stacy, Linda, and Andrew, for sharing your stories and putting your confidence in my ability to lead this state. This campaign is about your stories. Among thousands of stories of lives lived under hardship in a society where the deck is stacked against most of us and in favor of corporations, the wealthy, and the well-connected. Linda's sister lost her eyesight, and her grandson might lose even more because health insurance executives profit at the expense of people. Andrew nearly died because pharmaceutical companies push powerful opioids and pay doctors to do so. And Stacy's school was torn apart by gunfire because gun manufacturers have scared even Democratic politicians into silence and inaction. We can do better. And the way that we can do better is if we have a governor who is willing to stand up to powerful interests and stand with those that have suffered under a broken system that is rigged against them. I've stood with struggling people my entire life, and I would do so as governor. Now, I grew up in a pretty big family. I'm the youngest of 7. My father served as a chaplain in the military for 35 years. My mom is a retired public school teacher. And every day when I stood at the school bus, my mom would look me in the eye and she'd say, "Mark, remember who you are." And she still does that today with steely blue eyes that are hard to describe. And what I believe she meant was we look out for each other. We assume the best in each other. We work hard. We believe you can make a difference in this world, and you have a responsibility to do so. It's a reason why I chose to go into a profession of helping people as a family therapist. It's why I chose to run for the State House. It's why I served as Speaker of the House. It's why I'm running for governor. And if there is ever a time in our state's history that we need a family therapist, it is after 8 years of Paul LePage. Oh. I wish it was not so. Well before I ever thought about running for public office 10 years ago, I was helping people and families in trouble. I'd often drive out to their homes in overlooked parts of our state. I'd drive down long driveways, I'd knock on their doors, and I'd never know what was on the other side. Every day was different, Every family's different. Every issue is different. But I went back day after day after day and sat with families who were losing their homes, living in fear of an abuser, or worried about their child's drug addiction. We worked hard together until we got results. I took that same approach to the State House, where I won 4 elections in a district that hadn't been held by a Democrat in over 30 years. We did it by listening to people. And when we won, I fought for Medicaid expansion when hospital lobbyists told us we couldn't afford it. I fought to protect a woman's right to make her own health care decisions when men born into privilege pushed to roll back basic rights of protections for women. I fought the Chamber of Commerce to raise the minimum wage and fund our kids' schools, and I took on the NRA to pass common sense gun safety laws. And today, together, we fight for a society where every Mainer, whether you were born in a trailer park, a mansion, or a refugee camp, has access to basic human needs. Food, housing, health care, and education, because without these basics, no one can get a job, raise a family, or live their version of the American dream. And we can't get there. We can't achieve this vision using the tired playbook of the past. If we've learned anything from the last 8 years, it is that we must give voters a reason to vote for the Democratic Party. We are the party that has pushed for raising the minimum wage, expanding health care, and funding our schools by taxing the wealthy and corporations to pay their fair share. And that is what Maine voters want. And you know how I know that? You know why I'm confident of that? Because a majority passed every single one at the ballot box in the last couple years. And this is our moment. This is our moment to remember who we are. And if you want a Maine where Linda's sister doesn't lose her eyesight, where Andrew can live to change the world, and Stacy's kids can go to school safe, then join us in turning this state around so that our people can prosper and we can all be proud of our state again. My name is Mark Eves, candidate for governor, and I hope that I can earn your support. Thank you.